Hey everybody, Steven here with Oddball Publishing, and as the video title suggests, I'm going to show you how you can self-publish a book for free. Now, with that, there's a couple caveats, obviously. Certain expenses you would accrue, and this is really if you're not going to have these set expenses. This means you won't have an ISBN number that you own. This is going to be one that the company that we're going to talk about here in a second provides. You don't have any artwork that you're going to be needing to pay an artist for, and you're not going to pay for any services with a company where they're going to check formatting and things like that. You're really going to have to do everything yourself or do trade out, or there's other ways that you can do that. And you're also not going to purchase a author copy to make sure that this book looks the way that you want it to, which unfortunately I usually suggest that you need to do that just because you want to make sure that this thing doesn't have any major problems before you're just telling people to buy it. Now, with that though, you could actually print this book at no cost to you, or not print it, you could publish it at no cost to you. Printing it is obviously going to be a little bit different story because you're going to get this at a discounted rate. So if you want to order your own copies, you do get it obviously at a discounted rate, and then you get to set the price and all of that yourself. Now the company I'm talking about is Kindle Publishing Direct. That's who we publish with. We've done videos in the past talking about CreateSpace. CreateSpace was owned by Amazon, and they had Kindle Publishing Direct also, and now they just have it all under the same name. So it's the same company, it's just housed within Kindle Publishing Direct. They kind of just didn't want to manage the two companies, which makes sense. So now you have Kindle Publishing. I always say Kindle Publishing Direct. It's Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP. So you can go there, sign up for free. If you already have an Amazon account, you can just link that. You can sign in with that. You're good to go. To give you some tidbits on this, though, let's go to community. So let's say this is where we're at. You're here. Bookshelf, we have our books here. You wouldn't have anything here, obviously. But on the tab here, create an ebook or a paperback. And that's a good thing, too. You can actually just create your own ebook with this. Using typically some other type of software. They actually have, and you can download this if I still have it up on here. Kindle Kids Book Creator is the name of it, and they have links for this on the website. But that's how you could basically take a book and then format it into a Kindle format. So you're taking your existing paperback book and you're putting it in there, and it's helping you do that. But once we're here, so those are those tabs. If I go to community here, this is where all your resources are going to be. These are if you have questions, and you can look through this, and I definitely suggest going through all of this. And if you have questions, people are going to reach out to you. They have a really good community here. If I click on, I'm going to go back. No. If I click on KDP Community Guidelines, that's where this tab is. This is really where all of the resources are in terms of, I'm not talking to other people in a forum. I'm just looking at the relevant information to what I need to know in order to publish. And they have everything here for you. It's all set up. Getting started. Prepare your book. Publish your book. Promote your book. Tools and resources. If I needed to update that. How I order things. How the royalties, sales reports, getting paid, tax info, how all of that works. Now, if you're not an LLC or an S Corp like I am, you're going to do it as a self proprietor. So insurance stuff, I think with that you can actually put your social. I'm not 100% sure on that. I know with the personal training that I do, that's what it'd be. It just I was a sole proprietor, and I would run it through my social security number. I suggest doing an LLC, but I also understand, like, if you're at the point where, like, how do I publish it for free, you might not have that. Okay, so don't worry too much about that right now. But they'll help you with that on that tab. But if I go to getting started, they have videos, all the stuff that you need to know, how the ebook stuff works, how the royalties. You maintain, right here, the rights that are 100% yours. That's the big thing. 100% availability. I've done another video before where it said, all right, so what's the difference between if I go in depending on the size, and you do need to check the sizing, will I have expanded distribution or not? And I've done a short video on that. Choose the size if you want to look at it. That actually will allow you to have that. Keeping in mind that If you do expanded distribution, your price point has to be higher because they're going to take a cut as well. But that's going to get you into Walmart, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, all these other online retail stores. They don't necessarily always back you, and that's what I discussed in that video. That can be a hard thing, but you just got to kind of weigh and choose the pros and cons with that. I'll make sure that there's a link for that video because I don't want to get too into that right now. Royalties, earn up to 60% on royalties on the list set that the price that you set your price. So it shows you printing costs. You can download a calculator in order to look up that as well. Ebooks earn up to 70% royalties on sales, right? So this is where you can start right here. But let's go to, and before you start publishing, it'll take you here, things you need to look at. Prepare your book. All the free tools. They have manuscript and cover templates that you can follow. So formatting is a huge issue, depending on whether or not you have illustrations, right? So ours are kids' books. There's a lot of illustrations. Understanding what the bleed versus no bleed means, right? Which is where the image goes to the edge of the page, or if it's in a box and it's not going to do that. Looking to make sure that your text box margins are where they need to be. That's super important. We learned that the hard way with our first book 2 years ago, because that one I think we ended up spending 3 months because they were just off by a sliver and we didn't understand why. So understanding that is super important. They have a cover creator with this as well, and I think with that they actually give you images that you could use. You can also just look up license-free images if you wanted to do that, and you can kind of create it yourself and import that. So they give you really all the templates and the tools on this in order to do that. They have videos, like I said. I've put out videos as well on our YouTube channel showcasing like what's the difference between this versus that, where do I go to look at royalties and all that. And I'm going to continue to do that, but understanding, if I do a little bit of research, I'll usually understand and I'll find out the info that I need if I'm running into something. You could also just call them. Now they do have services. All right, I need somebody to edit the book. I need them to look over and make sure that I'm not having words that are misspelled, or there's commas where I don't need them, or periods, or whatever it may be. You can have them edit that. That is the fee. So now you can look into services stuff. Those things cost. But like I said, if you don't want to do that, you can find somebody you can do trade out, have a bunch of people read it, give feedback. You could, like I said, get this done for free. The biggest thing that you would run into with getting to the end, let's say you have your cover done, everything's printed, is order an approved copy to make sure that this thing, like I said at the beginning of the video, looks like it is supposed to, and you don't have any problems with that. Now you're asking people to buy this book and they're like, hey man, like this thing's really messed up. But before you do that, on this, they'll actually scan it through the software and then they'll do another pass to make sure everything looks okay. So they do those things, but they're only checking text box margins and is the image where it needs to be, and little things like that. They're not checking for things that might be like a style choice. Well, that image isn't supposed to quite be like that on the page. It's messed up. I didn't know that based off what I was seeing on my screen when I was formatting it. I need that changed. They're not going to tell you that. They're just, it's not going to, here you go, launch preview. So cover is uploaded and the manuscript as well. The previewer shows us all of that. Quick scan on it. Ours doesn't have any problems with it. And you can see here, like the red border here is the text box margin. And then they have the white one there that's showing you anything outside of that white margin is going to get cut off. Understanding that if it's an image, that will get cut off on that cover. We start going to the inside. They're really just showing you the text box margin on that. You can see here, ours borders right against it. So looking at all of that, making sure that that's on point, but it would tell you if something was wrong there. So that's a good first pass. And then let's say it's completely good there. Then they do an actual second pass on it. And then they'll send you an email letting you know what's wrong. From there, you'll have to make those adjustments. You can also reach out and call them and be like, hey, you told me the text was outside the text box margin, but you didn't tell me what page number. That has happened multiple times with us. It's cool. I need to know the details of what I need to correct. So looking at that, but like I said, with Kindle Direct Publishing, you could publish everything for free. Especially if you don't have pictures. If you don't have pictures, or maybe they're just images that you've taken, or you draw them yourselves. But I mean images like I took just a picture of something, it's going to be that, or I put filters on it, or whatever it may be. We pay an artist to do all of our artwork here that we found locally. That's amazing, Zach Raw. And then we actually pay an editor, and then we pay for our own ISBN number. The stuff that I've seen, it says get a free ISBN number here. The stuff I've looked at into why I would want that, it identifies the book's edition, publisher, and physical properties like trim size, page count, blah, 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 it goes all the way through. E-book ISBN numbers being a little bit different. It's $100 typically if you get your own, and so looking down here, should I provide my own ISBN number or use a free one from KDP? It's important to use to some authors to provide their own ISBN because it allows them to choose their book's imprint of record. An imprint is a trade name that is a publishing company uses to publish a work. We do because we say ours is Oddball Publishing. If you use your own ISBN number to publish your paperback, you'll be prompted to enter the imprint name as well, which is ours. And we go through the Bowker, if I'm saying the Boker. We actually buy ours through there. You can buy large quantities and you get a little bit of discount. We just buy the one for $100, but you don't have to do that, right? We've just chosen to. It's kind of something that we want to make sure that ours says what it says. But other than that, it's almost like peace of mind. It's not, in my opinion, it's not that big of a deal. If you're trying to get something out, like, don't worry about that necessarily. You still own all of the rights as far as my understanding is concerned. It's not like they'll own it because they own the ISBN number. As far as the content and all that other stuff, it's yours, right? So that is how you could publish potentially for free with Kindle Direct Publishing. If you have any questions or anything like that too, and you've come across this video and you're like, well, like, what about this or this, and it's not being answered here, please let us know in the comment section, because it just means it gives me more content that I can create, more things that I can help with, and hopefully be of service to whoever's needing some help with this stuff. So that is it for this video. Remember just kind of the route to get there. Once you're signed in, if I go to community and then I go to KDP guidelines right here, it's going to open this up and this should answer a lot of your things. You can even just type in what that may be, text box. It'll try and pull some stuff up for you. It'll go through here all the way down, right? So that is it for this video. If you liked the video, hit the like button for us. And then if you want to continue to follow along with all of our content, hit the subscribe button for us. Thanks so much for watching.